Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good night wherever you are, and welcome back to Speed Force Racing. We are here in Singapore for the 17th round of I don't know what to call this division, but it's the second tier and possibly the more unpredictable. I haven't even watched this up last night, have I? Known as GP2 Division 2. I'm your emergency host, Shall Answer 29, coming out of retirement for now. For emergency, okay. I can't even talk, but yes. I'm here because obviously the common team have had trouble with the main team due to availability, but the most important thing is we have a commentator, and hopefully joining me later will be Martin. So, get into the driver's stand now. Leading the way on 268, you have Surge in the Alpine. Second, you got the Vicar on 234 with Utkarsh 12 behind at 226. Fourth, you got Energy Dan. Good to see that. On 214, with Magi rounding out the top 5 275. Sixth on 159, you've got Wiggles with Doran 2 back on 157 on its 7th place. 10 points behind, you've got Skylands in 8th, and 9th, completing the top 10, you've got the Barrow 9th on 141. 20 points behind, and completing it is Jizzleodian on 121. Gavin fall behind. Fine on 117, 11th, and then you've got Wasp on 111. Aussie on 110, Mark on 106, Need for Speed on 81, British Sky on 78, Keith B on 51, Noldus on 38, and Ellie on 3. So, the constructors now. Leading the way, you have Alpine on 414 with Haas in second place on 344. Third, you got Mercedes on 343 with AlphaTauri 1 behind on 342, and Ralph and 3 Box Ferrari completing the top 5 on 319, with Red Bull behind 3 points back on 316. 7th, you got Aston Martin on 208 and 98, Williams in 8th on 268, McLaren in 9th for 159, and Alfa Romeo bottom of the pile on 143. So, Singapore. Very tough track. Difficult one to master. So I'm going to go on board, well, we are on board, with SFR's very own, the Bear, in the Aston Martin. Very wet conditions. Singapore is it's one tough beast to tame. So with wet conditions, the drivers have an even trickier task of getting around the circuit, just keeping the car in one piece. It's almost at a standstill. Oh dear! Oh no! Bear hits the wall. Martin is finally in, so please tell me he's coming into the comms booth. Please, I'm begging you. Because I don't want to do this alone. Someone hit the wall back there as well, which explains the yellow flag. So, with the Bear having damage, we're going to go on board with SFR's very own, and one of the best co-coms I've ever had, Energy Dan. Ooh, Bossy going provisional pole, 1 minute 48.9. Oh, Dan's hit the wall! Oh no! Not what you want for him. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like it, but can't be deceived on this game. Although I will say, this looks a lot better than, well, looks a lot less stressful than the previous Sector 3. As Vicar goes fastest, 2 temps up. Dan comes into the pits. We're just waiting on Utkarsh now. Hold on. I think I need to get Martin in. Bear with me. Ah, no need. There you are. Long time no see, mate.
How are you doing?
I'm not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Bad. So,
A
what
wet
your
quality.
wet quality at Singapore? Your preview on this?
Um, and the wet, I'm not quite sure. I've not practiced it. I don't know what it feels like.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I mean, mind you, I don't even have anything to do with F1 anyway anymore. But yeah, here comes Utkarsh. Goes for original pole. Calvin gets a 5-second, 5-place grid penalty. Sorry, with a collision with a British guy.
Oh, that's not what you want.
Nope. No, it is. So,
Just try to see where that could have took place. Sector 3. Calvin has no wing.
oh dear. Let's take a look. Go on board. Examine the evidence.
I
Yeah,
don't know
that's not
whether he
good.
was caught out by the braking zone, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. Already, Calvin is going to be at a disadvantage because of that time penalty. Or 5-second penalty, sorry.
Yeah, a track where track position is key. Not definitely not
Yeah.
ideal.
Could be fatal long term as well, if you're not careful.
hmm
Think about it. But
Just
yeah,
on board with Mad G just now. He's in the middle sector.
oh
I
yeah.
believe he's the only one on an actual flying lap at the moment.
Oh, he goes wide. So tricky to get your braking points right in these conditions.
Yeah, this section is incredibly difficult in the dry, never mind the wet.
Oh yeah.
See how difficult it is to get the car slowed down
Yeah.
under braking in this game.
I've seen quite a few people hit this. I've seen Dan hit this wall, and I think I saw Vicar do the same. At one point, oh, does he hit the wall?
Oh,
Oh!
just managed to keep it out. And then we go
Playing with
into
fire
the
there.
new section of the
Yeah,
track.
I like this. Like, I know it's a straight, but
It does
looks
provide an overtaking opportunity
for sure, yeah.
in the race for sure.
Do you think it'd be worthy of a DRS straight, in your opinion?
I don't know if it would have that much of a difference. I don't think
No.
that it's long enough. I don't think you reach top end speed at the end of the straight. But no, the exit, I think, by the time you get out the exit goes all the
Oh
way
yeah.
to the right hand side of the track. So by the time you straighten up, that would be the safe point for the DRS.
Yeah.
I think it would be too short to have a major impact. But who knows? It's looking at the tyres, and Bossy has fitted inters. He's still in the pits, but that's an indication that the track might be drying out towards the end
Yeah.
of this session. But yeah, Maggi with a solid lap, and Nodis goes quicker. He'd done a 48.1, that's over half a second.
That's impressive.
Yeah, quicker than Utkarsh. That was a great lap from Nodis. And of course, no championship leader today.
Yeah.
Serge, unfortunately, is serving a race ban for the accumulation of penalty points over the season.
Yikes. So, in that case, that's going to be an opportunity for the guys behind as well.
Yes, as somebody retired from the pits without setting a lap.
Eddie's left the session. Could be connection.
Is that what it is? Oh, left the
Could be
session.
connection, maybe not. And if you're watching this, then feel free to correct me. Correct me post-stream, during the stream. Up to you, but yes. It's either way. Down into third. Second, sorry. Literally under a tenth, he had Noldus as well.
Fantastic lap from Dan. I know that
It's
he's
no
been
surprise.
practicing. I know that he's been practicing this week.
It's no surprise to me because we've both known Dan a long time. I mean,
He loves the
all of
street
us have.
circuits.
Yeah, he loves this.
them.
It's one of his favourites.
Monaco, Singapore, I think Baku and Jeddah as well. He loves the street circuits for sure.
Oh yeah, had so many iconic drives in the circuit. Like, I remember the win he had in season 7. I think he won in season 9. Correct me, no, season 10 if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Joint construct. I think he. I don't know if he won the drivers. I know him and Hookie won the constructors.
Yeah, that was in season 7. That was a great
Um,
time, mate.
Yes.
Good memories,
So I'm
mate.
just having a look at the standings right now, and there's a real opportunity for these guys
Oh
to
God, I think
close
that's the
in
bear
on
that's just
Surge.
spun out. It is.
Yeah, he has. Coming through the bridge and over the Anderson Bridge
Yep.
section, down into the little sharp left-hander. But yeah, as I was saying, the Vicar is only 34 points behind Surge. Obviously, Surge not racing today.
Yeah.
And you've also got Utkarsh who's not far behind. Even Dan is like 50 points behind. So I think all of these guys are going to look at this as a great opportunity to close the gap
Oh, for sure.
to Surge before the race at Japan next week. As the bear has opted to go for another lap. I think he's recharging his battery.
Calvin up to 11th place.
No, he's not. Oh, what a lap from Gislodian.
Wow.
5 lap
Go on,
old
Jizzle.
Wes. That's an indication to me that the track must be drying out.
5 lap old wets. Then again, the same goes with the Inters. You can pretty much do as long as you want on
Yeah,
those
you
tires and get away with it.
can. You can, but that's quite a big jump up from where he was. I mean, I think he's improved by like a second, if I'm not mistaken, which is a big jump up. Bossy's gone third on the Inters
Same.
on a 48.2.
Ooh. Got a little bit tail happy in turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing 2 flying laps.
Yeah.
So should be able to tell on this lap. He's
Do you think it's
trying
Inters
to
ready?
ride the curbs. I'm just watching his on board to get an idea. I would say so.
Yeah.
British guy's done a 47.8. I definitely think the track is getting quicker.
Yeah.
It does look in. There's not any major puddles of water on the racing line anymore. It does look into us.
But to be
Most
fair,
likely at the crossover point.
yeah. But at the same time, though, you've still got people improving on wets, so it's kind of mix at them.
Yeah. So I don't think that Bossy's improving this lap. He's been riding quite a few curbs.
Ooh,
Oh, he's half a
tenth
tenth up,
He
despite
can
it not
literally
being
leapfrog Dan if he keeps this up.
he's invalidated there. That little white painted line.
Oh dear. That's an invalidation.
Yeah, it looks to me like the inters are slightly quicker.
Yeah, that's not a bad point. Dan's switched over to them, as you can see.
Yeah. If I was in these guys' shoes, I would definitely be taking the risk and just going over to the inters.
Oh, Dan's coming out.
Try and get yourself 2 quick fast laps. Oh, no, the time in the session, they'll only have time for 1 flying lap. So, on board with Calvin, who's just coming up to the end of Sector 2.
Yeah. 1.6 up, to be fair, so they're definitely someone worth keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, it's just his ERS is very high. He's
Hmm.
at 94% for a
Yeah.
quality lap. That's very strange.
Yeah.
I
Probably
think
fighting.
he's.
He might be.
I
Well,
think he's
because of
doing a
that glitch.
fuel.
No, it's not fuel, but it has to. It has to be that that one glitch where you look like you're on a lap, but you're about to begin it.
Yeah,
Well, I might be wrong, and I am wrong because he's gone up into P10.
yeah. I think he was doing a fuel burning lap, and then just turned his ERS on for the final sector,
Yeah,
as he looks to definitely be going for it now.
Dan's getting up.
Um, the Vicar has went pole by a tenth of a second on some fresh tyres.
Fresh into.
But I'm really interested to see how the inters get on.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, very rough. Oh shit. Pardon me. Yeah. Right. There we go. Oh shit. Oh no. Down on board. I do like that helmet.
Whose helmet?
Dan. Come on. There we go. Sorry about that. I
That's
had a
okay.
warning from my TV telling me it was going to go off in about 300
Wow.
seconds.
No, this is a 46.9. That is a massive
That's
improvement. The British guy has improved even further. Yeah, the track is definitely ramping up now.
Oh, for sure. So,
And Calvin's abandoned his lap, so it's all down to what can these guys do on the inters.
sure. It's definitely looked like Inter's conditions. Well,
Yeah,
it definitely
it
looks like
does.
Inter's conditions. Sorry.
Dan is 4
4
tenths
tenths
up
up.
in the first sector. That is a good
Nordius.
indication.
Yeah, although Nordius is about like what?
Well, he's going for
2 seconds
another.
to 3 tenths.
I thought he was going for another fine lap, but he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all down to what these guys in the inters can do.
Sure. This is an all or nothing lap for Dan. I make it sound like a bloody Amazon Prime documentary. Oh, Calvin's retired. That was in the pits anyway, so yeah. Quite a few people retiring. retiring in the
Bossy,
pits. Oh,
Bossy.
oh, Martin. Dan's 1 point. Dan's got a purple sector 2.
Yeah, and Bossy's got a purple sector 1 behind him, so these guys are going to be battling it out.
Yeah.
It might be the last one to cross the line.
Brilliant. That was great from Dan. This could be even better from Dan as he comes across the last corner. Here he comes. What time is he going to set? Oh
45.9.
my goodness.
Bossy
That was a
is-
phenomenal lap from Dan. And now, what about
bear-
Bossy?
The Bears crossing. He's went P2,
Wow.
but we also have Bossy
Hey.
coming into the third sector. He might
Ooh,
steal
I thought he
pole
was going to hit the
position.
wall. Oh yeah, you could be right. Okay, that's a McLaren going off.
Oh, hope it doesn't hit a bit of traffic here.
Oh, that could be costly. Not careful. That's an AlphaTauri. I don't know who. Yeah, it's probably Mark to be fair, but here he
Mark
comes.
Puerta.
Here comes Bossy. Can he beat Dan? Yes,
Pole
he
position,
does.
45.6. Wow.
You know what? A superb. That was superb from the Interrunners. The top 3.
Yeah, they got it right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Made the right call.
Wow.
Come out at the right time.
Adam's up into. Well,
And a shout out to Mark Querty as well. I think that is the best performance he's had in qualifying this season. P10
oh yeah.
right at the end.
Right. Here's the full grid. Bossy on pole with Dan alongside on the front row. Row 2, you've got the Bear and Noldus with British Guy and the Vicar behind him. 3. Completing the top 10, you got your Ace Man on and Gitalodian on row 7. Karsh and Mark QWERTY on row 10, or row 5, sorry. And looking down the rest of the field, you've got Calvin at 11th. Be at the back because of that 5 place penalty. Scar Adams in 12th. Keith in 13th. Mad G in 14th. Moff's off in 15th, and Ellie not the only driver not to set a lap. So, predictions for this race, depending on the condition.
Well, yeah, who knows? Singapore always throws up crazy results. Yeah, always a curveball. It's definitely a. We don't run red flags in this league, but I'm pretty sure there would be a few if we had it active. But definitely, I would imagine there's going to be some safety cars, at least one.
Yeah.
Who knows? Calvin, I think he's going to be starting from last. I think that's not really representative of his pace.
No.
But I do expect. I know that Dan has practiced hard. He loves the street circuits. He's going to be definitely up there challenging with Bossy and the Bear. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Hard to tell because of the change in the track conditions there towards the end of quali. Who's not sort of in the right place on the grid relative to their pace, so it could mix things up for the race. It looks as if it's going to be a dry race anyway to begin with.
Oh, there we go. Entry race right, wait for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. No lights, we are underway for the Singapore Grand Prix. Great start from Bossy and Dan. Great start from Noldus in 4th as he goes down the inside of Vicker. Both of them going wheel to wheel, but Bossy gets away really nicely.
Yeah, it all seems rather
clean
and
start.
tidy. Yeah, clean and tidy from everyone.
Yeah.
Couple of contrast on tyre choices. Bossy beginning on the mediums. The Bear and Dan on the hards.
Yeah, look at this.
Dan
Here we
wants
go.
to get ahead.
Yeah,
really
gets down the
early.
inside on the Bear. Great pass. Bossy on the mediums using the tyre advantage. Using the quicker tyre to his advantage.
Yeah, this is exactly what he needs to do if he's starting on the better tyre. He needs to build that gap.
Yeah.
And he's doing a really good job of it
He is.
so far. 2 seconds already and half a lap.
But yeah. But then again, one thing we need to factor on is that these hard runners are not going to hit the panic button too soon. Right?
No, absolutely. They've got to wait and let the race come to them. Let the tyres come to them. The mediums will fall off after a while.
Oh yeah.
And
the one stop will work. Hard to medium.
Definitely, yeah. If you're Dan and the Bear and Noldus in behind, you don't want to lose too much time fighting.
Noldus tried to go down the inside of the Bear, but to no avail.
Yeah, I think Ellie's had an incident in the Alpha Romeo. And she appears to...
Ellie's not in the session.
That's why. Okay, let's see if we can send Ellie another invite in case she's struggling to get back in.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Gosh, that on the back of the Vicker. Down the inside, or outside now. Gets the move done, nice and simple. Into P6 he goes. This, honestly, feels a bit nostalgic because you've got some guys that have raced in GP4, and you got people that have also been there in the old GP3 days. So, yeah, it's not surprising from what I've gathered to see that the driving standards in this is so good.
Yeah, improved a lot over the last couple of seasons. I'm just looking now that Aceman seems to be struggling to keep up with the front four at the moment. And he has Utkarsh all over the back of him. Utkarsh seems to have, more pace in the car right now as we come into the new section.
He needs to not overdrive it, because those mediums, if they end up getting worn out too soon, it's going to leave him in trouble for the rest of the race. Guys will get the switch back. Down the inside, no. No. Aceman has that covered. DRS is now enabled. Look at that pack. Look at that pack for P5.
Yeah, big DRS train.
Oh yeah. Now we've got to go to that lead battle as someone's got off.
Jizlodian.
Oh dear.
That's
a shame because he did quite well this qualifying.
Yeah, he had a fantastic qualifying. As Adams gets past the Vicar on the DRS. And Aceman he seems to be struggling at the minute. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. I think it might be a setup issue. You never know.
It could be. Very well could be. Simple things as well. Tyre pressures. Maybe his tyres are overheating. He's getting a bit of oversteer. And his Bossy is extending again. 4.3 now.
Oh, look at this.
Bear
down the outside of Martin. Oh, that was close. But now, this is giving Noldus a chance to go up to P3.
Yeah.
On the inside.
Oh, it's so tough to
side
overtake.
By side.
Yeah.
Yeah, given that it's Singapore, it's naturally going to be a tough track to overtake. Gives the Alton Park vibes, to be fair. Definitely not talking for ACT experience, but
yeah, and the Bear can't. You would imagine if you were the Bear, you would be quite content and happy to just sit in behind Dan for the time being.
Same story with Moldus too.
But Noldus appears to be pushing the Bear, so he can't really relax too much. He's kind of been forced to push Dan further. And Bossy getting the absolute dream start.
The Bear having a little bit of a tank slapper.
I saw that there, a little snap of oversteer. Yeah, Utkarsh doing everything he can now to catch up to these guys in fourth. He's closed the gap quite significantly over the last lap. Pushing really hard. As Aceman is just slowly falling away.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Skyrim's gone by.
He is struggling at the moment.
Now he's got the Wasp behind.
Yep. I think Calvin's in a real battle with the Vicar as well. I saw those two guys trading positions. His Mindful Wasp was the fastest lap. Now he's been unleashed into a bit of free air. He's starting to show his pace.
That is such a big train.
Maggie and the Vicar trading places down the DRS straight there.
Mind you, Red Bull, the main Red Bull team against the satellite car, the sister team. They're indirect teamwork.
Themselves, who, to be fair, this weekend look extremely quick themselves at Mexico.
I didn't watch the race, but yeah. That play to Ricardo.
Ricardo was fantastic, yeah.
Like, I'll admit, I've been critical of Ricardo since he left Renault to go to McLaren because of his performances. But credit where it's due, that was a good drive.
Yeah. Just having a look now. So Utkarsh is kind of struggling to get back up to these guys ahead of him, and Bossy has sort of levelled out now. He's kind of going up to 5 seconds and then coming back down. So maybe the best on the mediums is now over and it's starting to level out a bit.
Oh, for sure.
As Dan seems to be able to maintain the gap now. And I would imagine as the laps go on, that should start to come down.
Look at this. Look at that gap from B2 to P4. I think, and
Yeah.
as you mentioned, with Utcar struggling to keep up the pace of the guys ahead, that show. I think that shows that the medium tyre have just it's starting to slowly but surely deteriorate.
Well, whenever you're trying to catch a DRS train, it's not the guy at the back of the train that you need to be concerned about, it's the guy at the front of the train. So really, for him to catch up and have any significant impact, he's got to be able to match Dan's pace.
Yeah.
Which he is appearing to struggle. He seems to be losing quite a bit of time in the straights. We obviously don't discuss on stream why that is, but we can see why that is. He's had to push very hard, let's say that, to get up the grid and get the benefit of his tyres. Adam's behind on the hards, is able to stick with him. And yeah, these guys, P2, P3, P4, they're all been pretty sensible. They know that there's a long way to go in the race. It'll all play out over the next 25 laps. As Dan is slowly but surely starting to reel Bossy back in again. As Mindful Wasp now gets by Aceman in the DRS. And he'll be doing everything he can to get back up to the end of this train on his pace, as Utkarsh is now fluttering with the DRS. He's within the DRS range. I think he's actually got it this time. So this could be a DRS train now from P2 all the way down to P6.
Oh yeah. Think about it. Adams is close up significantly as well. As Wasp does get the better of Aceman, who's now, speaking of which, is spiraling.
He is. He's dropping down the order. You know, as you said,
Yeah.
maybe something not quite right in his setup as he's looking to come back again on British Guy, but not able to. Maybe something in the setup, just not comfortable.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's a
be
factor.
that.
There we go. Calvin up into P9. That's the move done.
You should look at how much time. Has Bossy made a mistake somewhere? He's lost about 2 seconds to Dan in the space of one lap. I think he's made an error somewhere. When I watch Bossy on board, he takes a lot of curb at almost every apex, and it is unsettling his car quite a lot. And I've found that the curbs are not particularly
Calvin nearly
nicely
loses it!
right, yeah.
I thought he was going to hit that wall then. Look at this. Oh, crashes in the wall!
Oh, and it's
a VSC. Now, the Delta. Big talking point in this. Bossy slowing
Does he
right
have damage? Try to see. Yeah, he's no front wing, so he'll be pitting.
Low. Yeah, that's going to put him on the hard for the rest of the race, eventually.
Yeah, but because it's under VSC, it does gain, what is it, 12 seconds or something? A 12-second quicker pit stop. I really don't know if hards are possible to the end from here. I'm sure they will be. It'll just be incredibly slow at the end of the race. But yeah, not ideal for Utkarsh. P2 in the championship, looking to close in on the leader. And, you know, he's went mediums again. So he obviously feels that it's too early to go hards to the end.
But look at this though. Dan, slowly but surely closing in on Bossy.
Yeah, Dan's pace really beginning to show now as the Bears dropped out of the DRS range.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
the hards are in top condition now.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with Dan's performance. He doesn't seem to be flustered. He's not, you know, he didn't panic when Bossy went away out into the lead on the mediums. He just let the race come to him. He's been extremely consistent and quick, and it's paying off.
Brilliant stuff from Dan. Meanwhile, still a close battle for P3 between the Bear and Noldus.
Yeah, Adams right at the back of the bunch of these guys now, and Mindful Wasp, who was setting the fastest lap at one
Bossy's
point.
in! Now.
So he's not liking the medium tyres as Bossy. Is he going to... Are these guys going to try a two-stop? It's him and Utkarsh going to two-stop the race.
You never know, mate. Because Utkarsh is on another set of mediums. Bossy could be going all the way to the end.
Yeah, he's went hards. You would feel, why did they not put under VSC?
I mean, you know, Utkarsh had to because of
the damage, yeah. But when it came out, if you're bossing, you know you're going to be pitting early. You would take the VSC and. But maybe he's got a strategy in mind. We'll see. But that now puts Dan into the lead of the race with the Bear trying to get back into the DRS range. And Mindful Wasp, I think he lost a bit of time behind that VSC. As he's caught up by about half a second in the last lap to these guys. So all to play for the podiums, nothing's gone now, as Adams is dropping back now, so pace really starting to show. Noldus looks really strong on pace. He's been all over the back of the Bear since the race began.
Look at that. Going back on board with Noldus. Well, that was a bit of oversteer from Bears. Keith gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. First one to do so this race.
Yeah. So we're beginning to see gaps opening up now. And Noldus goes for the overtake. He's not waiting anymore.
Gets on with it. Utkarsh gets the fastest lap.
I think he doesn't want to try. He doesn't want Dan to escape. He's seen Dan was beginning to extend his lead over the Bear, and he's probably thinking we can't let him get away. So we'll see if Noldus has the pace to stick with Dan, as he appears to be reeling him in at the moment. He's caught up half a second. Looking, so the closest battle we have on track at the moment is British guy on the back of Calvin.
Here we go. What did I sound like?
Bossy on fresh tyres is also behind Tzlodian as he's going to try a move.
Yeah. New hards beating Asian mediums.
Yeah. That was a good overtake there from Bossy. Both guys have been respectful through the corner.
Maggi and Vicar still on the back of each other.
Sibling rivalry.
Hmm?
Father and son going toe-to-toe on track.
Like Master and Apprentice, this.
Yep. Utkarsh finding himself unable to get past Ace Man
Yeah.
at the back of the field.
We go. Nope, stays behind.
Yeah, not able to get there. It seems to me like Ace Man has pretty good straight line speed. So he might, as you say, have a bit lower downforce than everybody else in the grid, and that's why he's struggling. Things appear to be leveling out at the front now.
Although,
Unable to maintain a gap and keep Noldus out of DRS range for the
one
moment.
thing that hasn't really changed is the gap battle between Noldus and the Bear, as the Bear gets a lot of oversteer coming out of turn 2.
Yep, and we're not giving anything away here, as we can see from the Bear's point of view that Noldus is flashing. So that'll give the Bear some comfort to know that he's able to stay with Noldus and not be pushing as hard.
No.
Calvin, I think he's been overtook by British guy now.
Now, question. When do you think the hard runners will stop?
I would imagine it will be mid to late 20s, maybe lap 27, 28, go on to the fresh mediums.
Softs? No.
I
Well,
would
on paper, it
be
does sound like the softs bit. The stint. But yeah.
I believe the
Give 'em the
softs
long
are only
track.
good for 3-4 laps round here,
Yeah.
before you really start to lose delta.
This track, the thing I find fascinating about this track is the fact that, because of how long it is, it's basically worth like what, 2 Monza laps, 2 Austria laps to an extent.
1.5, I would say,
Yeah.
something like that. Same as Brazil. Brazil's what, a minute 8, a minute 7 seconds. So
Yeah.
I think is it Spa's the longest? The Spa's
It's
the
up there.
longest.
As Aceman gets 3 seconds.
There's gaps all over the sort of the field, but there's not a major difference between sort of P1 down to P6 is only separated by 5 or 6 seconds. So you're talking about when do these guys pit. There's going to be chances here for guys to get a really strong undercut and gain a few places on people here. So I wonder who will be the first to blink and take the risk and pit a little bit earlier to gain a better
Calvin
track
gets into the back
position.
of British guy.
And it appears he's not got any major damage.
No, he hasn't.
Mindful Wasp has now managed to catch up to Adams and get within that DRS range. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the guys up front. Their consistency is really, really impressive. I think Dan's made a slight error somewhere. Just as I say that, the commentator's curse, where he's managed to drop a few tenths. Having said that, it doesn't look to me, when I go on board, it doesn't look to me like Dan is pushing too much.
No, no, he's smart, and considering this is one of his favourites, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it looks like as the Bears now coming for, wasn't quite able to get there. It looks to me like Dan's just got a very strong race pace without needing to overexert himself. Whereas when I go on board with Noldis, he looks like he's flat out. He's really going for it. Mindful Wasp might try and have a go at Adams here. Into turn 5. Oh, just opting to stay in behind at the moment.
Oh, the best spun!
Oh,
Oh no,
that's a shame.
massive shame.
He was right there. And that gives Noldis a bit of breathing room.
Sure.
I hope he doesn't have damage. He could still recover his rate. Oh, Calvin and British guy are in the wall
Oh
together.
no. They're going on and they've gotten into collision with each other in quali. They've gotten into each other in the race. Oh, and now
Oh no.
they've blocked. Oh
Oh.
no. That's impeding Bossy now as well. Oh dear. As I was saying, they got into it in quali, resulting in Calvin getting that five place grid penalty. And now
Yeah.
they're both getting involved in the race.
Yeah, I was saying mid to late 20s instead of this, like lap 18, not 28.
Yeah.
So Mindful is the one that's blinked first. He's
They have
decided.
damage.
He's not.
Like it.
I don't think he's had a wing change.
No, it's just. I think it's just tyres. I mean, you can get away with about 13 laps on mediums if you wanted to.
Yeah, and Noldis is right on the back of Dan
He
now.
is. Dan's not really pushing though. And if you look at Noldus, his light is probably going to be flashing in a few minutes because of how hard he's trying to keep up with that Mercedes.
Yeah, you can see he's almost scraping the walls. He's pushing really hard. And it's paid off for him because he's managed to get up and get in the DRS range of Dan. Now, will he decide to pit and undercut Dan? Or will Dan pit to neutralise any undercut? I would imagine that they'll not want to pit too early as they both come in. As Adams also follows them in. Which helps these guys out. Calvin coming in.
And
Bossy now going to retake the lead of the race.
Perfect. That's perfect for Bossy. Problem is.
Yeah, and by quite a significant margin. As you can see, the massive undercut that Outkarsh got from pitting under the VSC and Aceman as well. They both came out ahead of Dan. Now Dan has a major job on his hands to catch Bossy before the end of the race. What has he got? 10 and a half seconds? He needs to get back, he needs to clear Aceman
Oh yeah.
and
Got Wasp
Utkarsh
behind
as
as
quick
well.
as he can. Yeah, his teammate right behind. Didn't even notice that until now, that Mindful Wasp, just by pitting the lap earlier, has got ahead of Noldus and Adams.
Oh yeah. G with a 3-second time penalty.
So the strategy is now beginning to all unfold. As Bossy's showing some incredible pace as well. Sort of been under the radar because he pitted so early for the hard tyre, but he's been putting in some fantastic laps out at the back of the field, not in any traffic. We know Utkarsh definitely has to pit again.
Yeah, him and Aceman.
Yeah.
But Aceman's
The Aceman started on the hard so he could try and go to the end, but I don't think it'll be possible.
That's not a bad point.
But Utkarsh, does he go hards in the next couple of laps, or does he stay out and go sauce?
Swapping places.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Ooh. Or are they strategizing to defend from Noldus?
Could be.
Wasp is doing like a Abu Dhabi 2021 Perez here.
Yeah, I know when Dan came out the pits, Wasp looked quicker. Obviously, his tyres are up to temperature. He's in the groove.
Yeah.
But Noldus is right there, and he's not letting them. He's not letting them relax.
Nope.
As,
well, that gives Dan some free DRS. No, it doesn't.
No, Mindful not using his there.
No.
As Aceman is only 1.7 up the road, they did have a little nick off the wall there.
Yeah.
So
Adams on 3 seconds.
These guys.
They're getting the fastest lap.
The bear fastest lap. Yep. He's on a recovery drive right now.
Oh, yeah, up into P8 as well.
Now, he does have Utkarsh and probably Aceman to pit ahead, so he can get himself back up into the top 5.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Contact
Noldus
between
goes
Noldus
into
and
the
Wasp!
back.
Ooh, that's huge.
The two
Now look at
Mercedes
this.
trying to lock out the track.
Dan has already caught up to Aceman.
He has. He needs to clear him quick though.
Yeah.
Now are into the end of the next straight after this one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let's go for it.
For it now.
Oh, he's gone for it. Oh,
no.
A rare damn mistake. Possibly, seemingly.
Aceman has got incredible straight line speed, but he's carrying damage now. He will be pitting, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything malicious in that. It was just Dan going for it.
No, he went extremely late, and I think he assumed Aceman would just relinquish the position, but he didn't. He fought it.
It's a shame. It's just one of those where just 2 and 1 just didn't go.
Now, these guys, they need to think about the race here. what are they? What do they want to get out the race? Because if they keep fighting, it's going to allow Bossy to win the race.
Bossy some time.
Yeah. So are they all going to work together to close up and then fight at the end?
That's a good point.
Or will they all fight now? It seems to me that Mindful is prepared to sit behind Dan, but Nodus is just not allowing him to. He's pushing them hard. As Bossy gets a 3 second time
that's
penalty.
huge.
That is massive.
Considering Bossy's track records of having results taken from him due to track limit penalties.
Yeah.
Like, it's no surprise.
But you do get the feeling Mindful is doing a great job as a rear gunner for Dan at the moment.
Oh yeah. The bear gets 3 seconds.
That's not what he's wanting. As they're now closing.
Lukash is in the pits.
To pit.
So, what does he go on? 22 laps to go. Or, no.
I would
laps
imagine
gone.
he's going to go soft now, surely.
To go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft.
That's a gamble. 10 laps around Singapore. Like, it's probably an attempt to go for the fastest lap. You never know, but.
Yep, and looking to get himself into the top 10 if he can.
Yeah, oh yeah.
As Mindful Wasp get past Dan there, so they've exchanged position. And now it becomes a race for the race win with Bossy's penalty up ahead.
Yeah. Question is, are they using each other for tow?
They could be, just alternating position, but it's a risky strategy when you've got the Williams right behind by half a second.
Sure.
St. Calvin is right behind the bear as well, just further down. And everybody else seems to be fairly spread out. So the battle is definitely happening at the front here. Bossy might find himself not even getting on the podium here.
No. Look at how much Wasp is closing up to Bossy.
Yep. Such a contrast of how better the medium tyre behaves on lighter fuel.
Oh, Bossy into the wall. Light contact. Don't know if there's going to be any damage. If it's going to affect performance.
Yep. Nodus is looking very racy.
He is.
As Bossy is doing everything he can to extend out at front. But it looks like it is a losing battle on those tyres. He'll need to defend with his life if he wants to stop. Because even with the 3 second penalty, you can see that Adams has joined this DRS train on the quicker tyre. So Boss is struggling to get his foot down on exit. Was Mindful.
Yeah, he's got Wasp. He's got Bossy. Down the inside, make that the outside.
Yep.
Ooh! Bossy breaking very early, seemingly.
Hopefully
that's not going to be too harmful for Dan. Look at Adams! Mind you, he's got that 3 second penalty, but...
Yeah, he'll be targeting Bossy. Can he get Bossy and gain another position? Dan obviously needs to try and clear Bossy as soon as he can. And not let his teammate run away up ahead as Dan looks to...
Yeah.
Does he get the better exit? He does.
Yeah, down the outside, although Bossy trying to fight back.
And yeah, Bossy realises that Dan's just got so much more speed at the moment, as Noldus is going to try and get by as quick as he can also. But he'll at least have to wait.
Oh, we will.
Until the next DRS zone. Might be through here.
Oh, Bossy. Getting...
Bit of wheel banging.
Tries the outside. Holding out, hanging around the outside. Ooh, was there a bit of contact from Bossy? Oh, there was contact!
Not what you wanted.
That's a shame.
I don't really know if anyone was responsible there, but yeah, I don't know why Bossy was fighting it so hard.
Yeah, he had a penalty, so it was...
Yeah, there was nothing really to gain from
Oh,
it. No!
It's Baron Calvin! Oh, no.
And that is a safety car.
Now that could put the Mercedes team in trouble because of the dreaded double stack.
Yeah, a lot to think about here.
Yeah. Oh, that's insane. Big, that is big. Alvin getting a 5-second penalty for the collision. Bossy's out! Oh no! Jesus. What has been a very clean race, minus the odd incident, is turning into late anarchy. Well, anarchy, how do you pronounce it? But yeah.
Yeah, you had it, anarchy.
The question is,
and Adams just exchanged position there. I don't know
the
what
contact
was
with
happening.
Bossy. No. Yeah, he has damage. Now that's crucial. Well, mainly for the outcome of this race. Oh my god. And he's been disqualified.
The ghost was parked in it.
Yeah.
So Mindful and Dan are both pitting.
Yeah.
I believe this will give Noldus the position. As you can see there,
Yes.
Dan getting held up.
But the problem is, Noldus has a wing to repair.
In that case, he might actually be okay and lose a position.
Adams
to
has gained a position.
That is a big sigh of relief for. Well, I was going to say for Dan, but Dan also had a wing change, maybe.
No, that double stack.
That
remember?
was just the double stack that caused that. Yeah.
Ooh, Raceman gets 5 seconds.
Keith has stayed out. That's still going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah.
You would imagine that this, given the way things are, that this is Mindful's race to lose now.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Question is with Keith being in P2, do you think he may subtly be staying out to help Noldus?
He may well be. He may well be.
Yeah.
See, Keith has a penalty, doesn't he? What? He has a 3 second. So, in theory, he can still finish ahead of Adams, who's behind him. But it's going to be incredibly difficult. Fresh softs versus used mediums. I'm not really sure what happened with the Bear and Calvin there. I think they squashed up. Calvin gets squashed into the wall.
Let's see a replay.
But yeah, an on board would have been good, but
yeah.
So we have a 4 or 5 lap sprint until the end of the race. Everybody on the fresh sauce, apart from
We're still
Keith.
waiting on a few cars here.
Yeah, Mark Quirt is quite a way back. He'll feel that he would want to change his tyres by the time he catches back up again. hopefully he can catch back up before the race restarts. I'm sure it'll give him another lap. But I think is at lap 28 that it would come in at the very latest. As Calvin has managed to get rid of his penalty.
He has? Oh wow, he has. You're right.
So he was able to serve his 5 seconds under the safety car. This puts him right in the mix also. Along with the Vicar. We did say you were almost guaranteed a safety car around here, so
Yeah.
the nature of the track is... I'm just looking at everybody's on board, and some of these guys hasn't even replenished all their ERS yet.
No.
Such as they've been having to
Utkarsh has left the session.
Utkarsh has left. He should be able to rejoin,
Yeah,
hopefully. Before the race restarts.
That's my connection.
I'll just make sure that he's got an extra invite and that he can get in. Okay. I hope for Utkarsh's sake that he can rejoin.
Here we go. Oh, 3, 4 laps to go. Question is,
Safety car's
if
not
you're
been
not gonna
called
come
in yet.
No. Still got to wait on Mark, remember? Oh, it's in.
Yeah.
Right.
A very late call.
4 lap dash. 5 lap dash at the end. More to go. Wasp gets a nice enough getaway. Scar Adams on the back of Keith. He's going for it. Keith cutting across half the track.
Oh.
This could impede Dan heavily here.
And Keith is really struggling there.
Oh, he is. And he's impeding his teammates slightly.
He is. No, this
Oh.
will get him down the inside.
Yeah.
And Calvin too. Oh, does he have a little squeeze, but they managed to get through safely.
Yeah, they do. Look at this. Oh, Calvin gets a little bit twiggly.
What do these guys have left?
No,
As
that's what I wanna
Mindful
know.
got and found himself a little gap. I believe we might have 2 laps of DRS before the end.
Hmm.
Oh, Adams went way wide there.
Yeah. Now. When do you see Dan having enough time to get him before the end?
It really depends what his pace is like relative to his teammate. I don't see Adams defending particularly hard, given his 3 seconds, unless he feels that it's unjustified and he can get it removed. But Adams appears to be closing in a
Depends
little
on how
bit
many warnings you've got. Wasp gets the fastest lap.
Exactly it.
Oh, someone's got off. The Ferrari and it's Aceman, who in truth, has not had the best of races. And we get back to the battle for P2. Dan 1.1 second up on his best time.
Yeah, if Dan has any hopes of winning this race, he's going to have to get by Adams as quick as he can.
Mm.
But it's extremely difficult around here. He does need that DRS help. He's weaving there, just giving Adams something to think about. Noldis not without hope either, right behind Dan,
Oh,
keeping
yeah.
him honest. And Calvin too.
Wasp goes
Mindful
even
ones.
faster.
Yeah, he's really starting to push now.
Yeah, this is Wasp salute.
And you can see that Noldis is really pressuring Dan right now, and Dan's
Oh, yeah.
sort of having to go defensive and losing time to Adams as a result. His DRS is now enabled. Now, does this put Dan?
In a precarious position.
It does, and they go.
Oh, it does. Look at this. Noldis not giving up. Side by side. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Dan.
That was
Hold
close.
this off.
That was close.
We all know how good Dan is on the defensive. So hard to pass.
Adams has managed to get in the DRS range of Mindful as well.
Oh, here we go. Adams on Wasp.
Yeah, I think he's too far back. It'll be a last lap if he's going to go for it. Same for Noldis. The slightest mistake can cost these guys. This Calvin is really pushing as well.
Be a potential podium on here.
Yep.
Ooh, I thought Noldis was going to lose it.
Yeah, Noldis having to worry about Calvin in behind as well now, so the last lap, last opportunity for any of these guys to make a place.
Yeah.
As it looks like Mindful has enough to hold Adams at bay. And Dan is able to fend off Noldis in the DRS.
Oh, Adams getting a little bit of a tank slapper there. Look how hard they're pushing. Now Noldis has got back up to Dan. This is going to be one close finish. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, I think Dan's got enough in the tank to see them off.
Yeah, I think he does. Meanwhile, here we go. Coming out the last corner. Here comes Wasp through the last corner to win the Singapore Grand Prix. Sky Adams comes home in second, but it will only secure a Mercedes 1-2. Sky Adams stays down in third. No, Sky Adams stays in third. Noldis in fourth. Vicker in fifth. British Guy in sixth place. Calvin down to seventh. Mad G and Gizzlodian in eighth and ninth. And the battle for the last point, I think it's been secured by Keith.
How did we miss something there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Calvin then. Like, maybe he lost a bit of grip or something happened. You never know. But hey,
Unless, because Calvin's ahead of British Guy on the track.
Yeah.
Did he have a penalty that we missed?
no, I don't know.
Or Noldis have a penalty that we missed?
No, hold on, let me look. No, it doesn't even tell me.
No.
Might have to look into Race Tractor real quick.
I'm going to see in case they got a penalty at the very last lap or something that we might have missed. Nope. I think that's a glitch.
Yeah. Classic Cody's. Or EA now.
Yeah, typical,
Yeah.
typical.
Wasp taking home the win.
Yeah, fantastic drive from him. I do think that's driver of the day material.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Because
extremely
he
patient.
came into clutch then.
Absolutely. And a Merc 1-2.
Mm.
But yeah, P14 to P1, driver of the day. Adams done fantastic also. He had a great race.
Oh, yeah. Here's the full result. Wasp takes home the victory with Dan completing a Mercedes 1-2. Third place you've got you've got Adams with Nordis in fourth, and Vicker completing the top five. And in sixth place you've got British Sky. Calvin comes home seventh. Gisalodian in eighth. Maggi in ninth. Keith securing the final point, 10th, or in-game point. And looking at the rest of the finishers, you've got Mark, Utkarsh, and Aceman, and then retirees, you've got Bossy, the Bear, and Ellie, who's been disqualified. So,
Yeah, I was just looking there, and it appears that Calvin got a penalty on the last lap.
yeah, oh yeah, I thought he did.
A 3-second penalty, and I assumed that Noldis fell out of the 3-second window at Adams, and there was maybe something going on with him and Calvin that we didn't quite see at the final corner, that caused that. But yeah,
Right.
fantastic race from those guys.
Right, let's go to the showroom. 1, 2, 3, we're going to get the winning car up. And as we wait for Martin to invite the podium finishers. I said, do you like this year's Mercedes livery?
Mercedes?
Yeah.
I've
Chrome and
always
black.
liked the Mercedes. Okay, so we have Mindful Wasp and Dan and Noldis. I don't actually have Noldis, so I need to get Dan to invite him.
Didn't Adam come third though?
Oh, so he did. Yeah, Adams.
What a day. There's Wasp.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, man.
How we going?
Not bad, mate, you.
Yeah, not too bad.
Let's wait on Dan and Adams now. But yeah, if you make sure you've got your audio on set to share, before we get this kicked off.
Let's have a look. How do I do that? Sound audio. I have no idea how to do that.
What are you on, PS4 or 5?
5.
So, you obviously go to the settings.
Yeah.
I'll do it along with you because it's been a while.
Here he is.
And then I believe you go to sound, audio output. No, that's wrong. Wait a minute. It's been a while. Yeah, I forgot how to do it. How goes it then?
Yeah, and then
Allow voice to always be shared or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it in the party? Hang on. Yeah, it's allowed. I'm allowed to share my voice.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So let's kick this off. Wasp. Right drive,
Hello.
mate.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Like
Driver of the day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like kept it quiet for the first half of it, but you came in. But when it really mattered, you really did come into clutch. Take us through that.
Well, I didn't have a very good qualifying. I just couldn't get anything, so I kind of left it. And I had a good result from starting further back last week at Monza. So I thought I'd give it a little try. The hards worked really, really well. I managed to get through the pack to the point that, I managed to work with Dan as a team to sort of get us into the right pit stops. I went first, and he went second. I think on the end with the mediums, I had a little bit more pace, and we said, if I couldn't catch the car in front, we'd swap back. But we swapped and it worked, and then we called to go for the softs at the end, and it just worked out really, really well. I think it was a really good race. We were both sort of on our own little race, and we were doing really well. So yeah, it was a really good race.
Anything to add, Martin?
No, I just wanted to know what your strategy was with Noldus behind when the two of yous were. There was a point before the safety car when you had to try and catch Bossy, but Noldus was right behind you and pushing you the whole way. Like, how were you managing to work that out without overtaking, and how were you managing to work that?
Well,
because it looked tricky.
It was tricky, I think, because obviously it was right after Dan had come out the pits. So it took his tyres a couple of laps to really warm up. So I was just letting him know that Noldus is on my half, on my end, and I kind of just took a really heavy line going into the corners to sort of stop him from making any late lunges. And then I think as he tapped me a little bit, and I was just saying to Dan, hold left and I'll stay in the centre, to try and make sure that he had nowhere to go. But he decided that he was going to try and make his own space. But it didn't work for him.
I think he was getting a little bit frustrated. I was on board with him, and there was like a Mercedes wall coming down the DRS straight that he just they had nowhere to go. But yeah, I thought the two of yous worked it really well. We were kind of hoping to see what would happen after the safety car, but I think Dan obviously lost a place or two because of the double stack.
It
would have been interesting.
Race.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see what happened. But yeah, fantastic drive, mate. Was it P14 in the grad?
Yeah.
And got yourself up for the win. So congratulations, man.
Thanks very much.
So with this win, let me take a look at the standings real quick.
Takes me from 18th to 16th.
First win of the season, if I'm right.
No, last week a penalty was inflicted and I went from second to first.
Fair play.
So,
Twack wins then.
yeah, it's. I said to Dan while we were racing, I was like, why didn't we have this pace at the start of the season?
It does bring you into the hunt for the constructors again, though.
Oh, for sure.
It gives you a lot of points compared to the Alpines.
How much of a confidence boost will this give you going into Suzuka?
So just button in, this is the better part of my season. I like all these tracks coming up, so we can get this Wasp.
Absolutely no confidence boost because they hate. As you know, I hate Japan.
I have PTSD from that track.
So I'm not the massive a massive fan of it, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So we will see. We will see.
Yeah, we will.
I think you move up to 10th in the championship now with that one.
It's not too bad considering I won it last year, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what you call a flop, isn't it?
No. It happens, man.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So, Dan. Great race, mate. Kept it smart on the hards. Yeah, kept it smart on the hards, and then, yeah.
Got a bit unlucky. You looked like the guy in the prime position for most of the race.
Yeah, so the hard stint, I knew that the hards come better than the mediums after about 5 or 6 laps. And I could tell with the Delta coming down from Bossy that he was starting to flag quite a bit, and he actually stopped quite a bit early. I was surprised how early he stopped, actually.
I was going to ask you that, like, were you surprised how
Yes.
quickly that 5 second gap diminished? I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed to go out 5 seconds in the space of 4 laps and then come down in 4 laps.
It did, and I said in our group, I think he smacked the mediums too hard at the start, thinking that he needs to get an advantage. When if you start on the mediums, you actually have to be a bit more conservative and just kind of stay in front of the hard runners, and then when we try and work a way to break away from it. And he didn't. I think he just went hell for leather on them, and that's what made it easier for us. But the hards start to feel amazing about lap 7, and then we just like Wasp said before, we're just working together, to be honest with you, just to try and keep Noldus off his backs. But yeah, it worked alright. But I struggled on the softs after that restart. Actually, something just didn't feel right. I don't know whether I didn't warm up enough or whatever. But yeah, I struggled on the softs on the last few laps.
Because in the first stint when we were watching it, like, I was quite surprised at the gap that Bossy was pulling, and I went on board with him, and he wasn't even pushing so much on his ERS. And then I don't know what lap it was, maybe lap 6 or lap 7, he started to drop a lot of time. I don't know whether he maybe had nicked a wing on a wall or something, maybe. But it looked fine, and as you say, at the beginning I thought like maybe he would go out a couple of seconds and then just bleed it away. But you guys were in a DRS train, I think Noldus and the Bear. But yous were just being extremely consistent, and not letting the gap continue to grow. And it looked like it was going to be a battle between you, the Bear, Noldus and Bossy, for the win. Tell us, obviously from your point of view, you come out the pits on your mediums, and you've got your teammate right behind you who's on basically the same strategy as you, and his tyres are already warm. What's going through your mind at that point? Obviously, Mindful's given his point of view, but from your point of view?
Well, to be honest with you, obviously because Wasp had warmed his tyres up, he did have a better race pace than me, but we said straight away, look, he said he's not going to attack me, he's just going to try and be a blocker while my tyres warm up. And then once they warmed up and we started increasing pace, Wasp just said, look, can you catch him? I went, yeah, I'll catch him. And then after about, I think, 2 or 3 laps, I could tell that we broke away from Noldus a little bit. Not a lot, it's still within 1 second, I think. But Wasp had some great speed down the straight, so we just called it then. I went, right, just go. And that's it, he moved right. And then we just timed it so that even though I was sharper, I had a great exit coming out, and that's how we made it work. But we were communicating every single corner. Well, not every single corner, but we were constantly in contact. Even at one point, I said to, later on, I said to Wasp, look, I need DRS here. And he literally backed off by about 6/10 to give me the DRS. I think it was Ace Man that we'd just passed, was it? And I said, look, I need DRS to get a bit more of a buffer to Nolder. So he actually slowed down to give me DRS, and it worked a treat.
Yeah, nice. I wanted to ask you about quali. There was a lot of guys that just went out and did laps on the wet, didn't seem to consider the intermediates at the end. Was it obvious to you that inters were going to be the better tyre, or was that just a complete gamble?
It wasn't obvious, it was getting better. And because I'd got P2, I think, at that time, I thought, do you know what I've got to lose? And then as I went to put the inters on, it actually said, switch to the tyre. I was like, oh, okay, I will put inters on, definitely. And yeah, it was the right call, but I think Bossy just started his lap a little bit later, which is an indication of how good that track was getting. I mean,
I think he seemed to have an incredible first sector. I think he was 2/10 up on you in the first sector, but he was like, 20 seconds down the road or something like that. So, yeah, but we all know when it's a drying track, the guy last to go last has got the best chance.
I mean, I improved by 2 seconds switching to intermediates. It just shows you just how good that track was getting. But it was, you know, it's like on this game with the weather. It's like a switch goes off. You know what I mean? There's no gradual or realistic gradual transfer. It's just literally, oh, there you go, bang, intermediate. Yep. I actually enjoyed the wet qualifying. I said to the lads, I don't mind the wet in Singapore. It used to be horrendous, but it seems to be a lot better on the last 2 games, and it's quite a fun track to drive in the wet. So yeah, it was a good, interesting qualifying.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about, because you have now done the full race in the division now, how you feel about the added or the new sector, I should say.
Uh,
Is it giving you more headaches, or is it good?
yes,
What
it
are you
has.
thinking?
The headache it gives you is it drains your ERS even more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Around this track, you can't charge it quickly. I think it takes, if you're on zero, I think it takes 4 laps to build up again. So
uh-huh.
and sometimes you need to blast your ERS on that new straight,
Yeah.
just to give you a better fighting chance. Because you've got that straight, then you've got the home finish obviously with the dog leg, and then shortly after the hairpin, you've got another straight and then another long straight. So it's an absolute detrimental effect to the ERS and battery.
There was a point in the race where Utkarsh was below his 10%, but he was quicker on the medium tyre. But as you said, when he was coming into that final sector, he was losing 2-3 tenths just from that straight alone, having no ERS. So yeah, it looked as if it provided some overtaking opportunities, and people were able to defend into it as well. There was some cars
Yeah.
we saw going too wide through there. They were
added
making it
pressure.
work.
It did have pressure, put it that way. But it does set you up for coming across the home finish straight. And I was getting pressure from Naldus into that turn one at one point. I was having to come off the racing line just to say, no, you're not coming down there. But
Yeah.
I kind of like it. You know, I do miss the Twisty Stadium section because it's a bit of uncertainty to banging a wing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think. I don't want to go as far as to say it's improved overtaking, but it's certainly improved opportunities to try and overtake or put pressure on people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't personally risk it because it's just such a tight corner. And also, I think, to be honest, they need to fix the ERS build-up because, like Dan was saying, I was managing mine more than I normally do because I'm normally
too,
I'm normally a blaster and I'll work it back up after 10 laps. But, I remember I was trying to overtake Adams and it took me about 6 laps from 20% to get up to about 38. And that's
Yeah.
obviously with racing as well.
I think they need to add in the ability to turn off your ERS.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think
absolutely.
what they've done to the game, I've noticed throughout the season, is it rewards you for lifting and coasting more for your DRS redeployment. I don't know if that's an intentional thing in the game or not, but normally if you're going into the braking zones, if you lift a little bit earlier and then brake a little bit later, it rewards you with more saving. But
That's good
yeah,
to know.
there's some tracks that's a complete nightmare to try and get your ERS reharvesting.
Like last week, it was like
Monza was
25%,
impossible.
25%
For
in
me.
a lap, you'd build it up.
For me, it wasn't last week. It was terrible. Just because everybody was using it. But yeah. But yeah, it was great. You guys were sort of like the midfield towards the rear of the field. Everybody was sort of spread out and gapped, but you guys were all within DRS range of each other, and it looked like pushing for flat out most of the race. So the fact that he's never had any incidents and he's kept it all together was impressive. I said it on stream, so well done, guys.
I will give one shout out though to the Bear. He put some serious pressure on me at the start. Like I was worried at one point in the first 4 laps. I was worried. He
Yeah,
was
he had an unfortunate thing. I don't know if he had contact or he just spun in his own. And then obviously he had an incident later in the race with Calvin that DNF'd him. He was really unfortunate, definitely. He looked as if he was right there with you guys on pace today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the stream actually and seeing what happened behind us.
There's just a lot of rear ends stepping out because tire temperatures are really crucial around here as well. I've noticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't check my tyre temps once.
I didn't because I'd done a load of prep to make sure that I knew how to manage it. But
I have noticed one thing though.
Japan will be the same next week.
I've noticed one thing. Going between Grand Prix mode and online mode, there is a slight difference between the handling, which is what's tricking me up a little bit. I need to get some online practice, I think, for Japan.
Mate, I find there's a massive difference with fuel consumption as well. Fuel consumption in GP mode is way different, but yeah, the race wasn't like me and Tom were talking about it during the race. there was only really, I would say, 1 lap, 2 laps. The lap that the safety car came out, it was really wild. I still don't know how Bossy DNF'd, because he done that under the safety car. But yeah, there was like 1 or 2 little incidents that all happened within a couple of seconds of each other, brought out the safety car. Apart from that, it was a solid race. It looked great.
Sure.
I did see my rear view mirror. I think it was Naldus and Bossy that came together.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
At the end of sector 1, but that was under green flag conditions, so it might have been a.
No, he done it at Anderson Bridge, I think.
Oh yeah.
That's where his car was sitting solitary on the map. So yeah, I don't know if he's lost it and hit a wall or something.
Yeah, so
I really don't know.
About 3 corners before that, it might have been at the end of the long straight. In my rearview mirror, I saw Naldus and Bossy come together. I think it was a side pod impact. So it might have been a continuation. He might have had damage and then lost downforce through the Anderson Bridge section, but I don't know.
Yeah. And obviously, quick talk then about next week, Japan. How are you guys feeling about that?
I do like Japan. I do find it a difficult track, especially getting Degner 1 and 2 right. I think that's the critical part of the circuit. I'm happy with... I don't know about you, Lewis, but I'm happy with Spoon now if I've got that down.
No, Spoon's the bit I absolutely despise.
Okay.
What section's Spin again?
The Sector 1, the S's.
Oh,
Spoons, yeah, S's I meant.
Oh, those feel incredible this year.
Yeah,
I don't mind that, but it is literally that final start of the final sector. I just can't get the car ever positioned to the point that I just flow around it. I constantly feel like I'm just jerking left.
Yeah, I have to. You kind of turn in sharp and kind of just coast for a second and then put the power on. That's what I do anyway. Yeah,
We'll figure out a rhythm.
Yeah, we'll get there, mate. We'll get there.
And what about championship ambitions, Dan? Because obviously with this, you've clawed points back now on the leader. I think you're, what is it, like
40 points back now because of that
30 or
P2.
40, something, yeah.
It's not
out when, yeah, it's not out without your out with your reach.
I think Vicar will still be ahead of me though, won't he, by about 12 points or something?
Yeah, I think he'll slightly be ahead of you, yeah.
You know me, mate. I'm never going to give up. Yeah. I'm just going to keep practicing like I'm doing, mate, and try and just keep my nose clean and just get as many points as I can.
Tom was inquiring when you actually won the championship last. Was it season 7, season 8?
He didn't win the championship, but he did.
The constructors with Hooker.
Yeah, I came second. Construction champion. Yeah, it was with Hooky. I think
that was a great season.
I think we've done it twice, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah. But yeah, I came second in the drivers' championships behind. It was the McLaren. I can't remember who it was now.
I think it
DCG.
DCG. No, it wasn't DCG. It was MDJ. No, someone else.
Can't remember now.
What season are you talking about?
Season 6 or something.
7
maybe.
Season 7.
Oh, when you were with Hooky, was Calvin not racing then in the McLaren?
No, he was in the Haas, and then he practically won the late season championship as well. Thinking about it,
he started GP4, I'm sure, in the McLaren.
He did.
But,
he started at Racing Point as a reserve.
It's
then
called
went full time at Haas.
Stupid Clapping or something.
Yeah, the old days. That was a great
time. If we're in a position like this again, and obviously Dan's fighting for more than me, we'll have to do an invert on the final lap. But yeah, no, I think if we
every point counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, great job on the 1-2, guys, and I will imagine that it won't be the last time this season, seeing as Dan has said that every track now he's cooking to the end of the season.
Yeah, I would say, especially Brazil, mate. I absolutely love that track.
Yeah, I just done that in career mode, nightmare. But yeah. Talk about tire temperatures, jeez. But I shall leave it to you, Tom, to round us all up.
All right, thank you both for joining. Congrats on the podium and good luck for next week. How subtle that was. But yeah, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you can check out all the action across SFR in both divisions. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok, and if you're new here, you want to join the league, head over to Gridfinder. The link to our Discord server will be there. Once you're in, one of our directors will be in touch with you to help evaluate your pace find the right division for you based on that pace and availability. But until Suzuka next week, this is your traditional host, along with your emergency commentator, Shalanswer29, signing off. And of course, the unnamed code name that I have for GP2, signing off.